Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Good morning. Thank you for watching the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I am David Allen. Thank you for everybody in the chat for joining me today. If you would like, you can call me Super Dave 817. Good morning, Crusty Old Crow. Thank you for joining us. We are here to talk about Night Force, the new Walmart exclusive, group that they are going to be utilizing for their next batch of exclusives through Walmart are going to be Night Force, Cobras, and Joes that are all under this umbrella, this Night Force umbrella. So that is why we're going to do two characters today. We're going to be doing the Range Viper, number 76, and then we're going to do number 77, Big Ben. So we're going to do a twofer today for Night Force and Walmart's exclusive brand, or I don't know how you want to call it, exclusive series, I guess. And there's a lot of really cool characters through this Walmart exclusive branding that they've done with Hasbro and Classified, some really cool characters. So then we're going to go into a couple of new items that are coming in, and some new news and stuff that has also come to light. So we got a little bit of stuff to cover in this video. But first, let's get into the history of the Range Viper first. So here we go. So we're going to go to Dan Klingsmith's series of books. And there you go. The Range Viper, a little bit of art, a couple of turnarounds there of his package and different iterations of his package. That art there over there is Dave Dorman art. He did a lot of the art in this time frame. So let's see what Dan Klingsmith said. And this is Creating G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, volume number 10 for this one. Number 10. So, excuse me, I have a bit of a sore throat today. Alternate names, NA, year release 1990, designed by NA, which is interesting. I thought maybe it might have been Mark Pennington, but it does say NA on there as a design person. So interesting. It says pencil renderings by Mark Pennington did for the final presentation design of the Range Viper. Mark had left Hasbro and was doing it as a freelancer. So he did that maybe as a freelancer, the Range Viper art. So there you go. And that's all it says about the Range Viper. So very short biography for the Range Viper on that. So then we're going to put that away there. And then we're going to go to his card art. So let's see. Range Viper card art. Is find it. Oh, there he is. So this is the we're going to go to Dan. We're going to go to Carson Metaxas series of books, and we're going to look at the Range Viper card art for his vintage figure. There you go. Looks pretty creepy, huh? Let's see. dropped something here. There. Yep. And then we're going to go into Big Ben's card art, or the history of Big Ben, I should say, not card art, but the history. The history of Big Ben. Here you go. Oh, right there. Another piece of artwork by Dave Dorman. Good morning, Michael Gene Fleming. Thanks for joining us. Good morning, 610 Yojo Daddy. What's up, fellas? What's up, Dave? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Thank you very much. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notifications, share these videos. Help us grow this to that 150 subs, please. Thank you, Yojo Daddy. Michael Gene Fleming, Range Viper, one of my 2 favorite Cobra troops. Wow, that's cool. Glad to hear it. They're doing a lot of Range Vipers. I think we're on like our 3rd Range Viper. And looking at the history of the Range Viper, I think there's room for like a couple more, if I'm not mistaken. There's Eevee, the purple one from Deke Animation. And then there's another one that's a modern 4-inch version of him. Hello. As well. So there's some room for more Range Vipers down the road. Let's see what Dan had to say about Big Ben, though, first. There you go. Dave Dorman art. Alternate names. NA, year release 1991, designed by Kurt Groen. Interesting. So we get someone else after Mark Pennington. Kurt Groen helped design these figures. When building a team of Joes that had international ties, Kurt based Big Ben on the British soldier. He recalled looking through several books at the time, gathering World War I and World War II military reference material to help him incorporate different elements into the character. To this day, he still has shelves of books that he used to reference when he was at Hasbro. Very cool. So there you go, Big Ben. All right. So then we're going to go on to Big Ben's card art. So Big Ben vintage card art there. So there. And then we're going to go into their comic book appearances. So the Range Viper got his first appearance in issue 113, A Real American Hero. A lot of different troops appeared in this, and this is part of the war, the Cobra war, and a lot of characters end up losing their lives. This is a bad time for G.I. Joe against Cobra in the Cobra War, because a lot of people end up losing their lives. And then 116 is the first appearance of Big Ben. This is the origin of Destro, part 1 of part 3. So there were some really cool stories that were coming out at this time. They were doing like the origin of Storm Shadow, the origin of the Baroness, the origin of Destro, the war for Cobra, the battle between the G.I. Joes and Transformers, a lot of stuff with Ninja Force, a lot of cool new stuff was coming out, like the DEF, Eco Warriors, and what else? So that was a cool time for the G.I. Joe comic. All right, so as I've said before, all these are the very first time that we're opening these up. We're going to start with Range Viper number 76. There's some really cool artwork of that Range Viper, I really must say. They really stepped their game up when they started doing the Walmart exclusive line. So the Walmart exclusive line is a unique line. So previously they had been doing the Walmart vintage packaged exclusives. They did 8 of those. We covered the one of the last ones, the Snake Eyes, in our last video, and so they had to switch it up because the packaging was really difficult. They were having a hard time getting those delivered properly to people, so they switched it up. And they gave them these boxes, the new Hasbro classified boxes. Instead, they just put the I guess the Night Force logo on there, and then they gave him some creepy crawlers to fight during that as well. And so that's where you get the Range Viper incorporated into this. And then on that piece of artwork is really nice, and that's 76, as I said. On this side, you get that Target cross-sell artwork with the QR code to Nowhere, and then on the back you get the cross-sell with the figure with all the accessories, showing the Cobra logo there, showing the brains on that helmet. I think they did a really good job with the Range Viper. Range Viper was a little bit outside my historical time frame of G.I. Joe. I was collecting still, but not as heavily as I was prior to this. This is, I think, 89. Michael Gene Fleming, you can correct me if I'm wrong. 89 for the Range Viper, and then 90 for Big Ben. So he was kind of outside. I was still getting figures. I was still getting vehicles from time to time, but I wasn't like really deep into it. So like I said, I was always getting stuff every year, but I wasn't getting the complete lineup of G.I. Joe every single year all the way through. So it looks like he's got tons of accessories, though, I must say. So then we're going to go over to this side, and we're going to show the photography art by Shooting the Galaxy Matt from the Hasbro team. So if you look at this, there's some really interesting callbacks to this that I want to point out, like these purple crystals here, and these purple crystals right there, the shining crystals, the shining energy that's coming off of that. That's going to be a callback to something we're going to get to shortly with this exclusive line through Walmart. All right, so remember that. Remember what these crystals are on these packages. And I don't see anything else because they started to put secret things in the background of packages. Hasbro did, and so that's why I'm calling this out, these crystals in this package. I don't see anything else really sneaky in the background there, but then they use that piece of artwork from the side again, then another cross-sell of the weapons. So again, this is the first time we're opening all these figures up. We're now at 76. We've done 00 Snake Eyes all the way to 76, and we've done the first 8 vintage package figures, and we've done several odds and ends like the Fortnite and the running variants. So we're getting close to 100 figures at this point, or items, I should say, because several of those figures come with vehicles. So then we have his weapons crate, Range Viper, Cobra, 76. 76. There you go. So we'll put that over there. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot to cover the vintage figure. You guys had me jumping ahead. So there's your Range Viper, vintage. So I might not have been collecting this stuff when it was coming out, some of this stuff, but I did get it after the fact as I've been an adult. So there's your vintage Range Viper. He's a pretty solid figure. I think mine has a little yellowing going on there. So his coloring is not what you would probably think of for the Range Viper. He's not as blue. He's got that dark turquoise color scheme on him, and mine has, like I said, yellowed a little bit. And so there's the Range Viper with his Gatling gun or whatever it is, and you can see he has that brains up there in his head, and he's got those cool red eyes, and he looks really interesting. It's a very interesting deco and stuff like that. But I know there's a lot of fans of the Range Viper, like Michael Gene Fleming said he was out there. So this was a popular one when he came out. So let's see if he'll stand. Yeah, he stands. All right. So there you go. There's your vintage version of the Range Viper. All right. So we got his weapons crate, and then we have his figure with his package. I'm going to put that aside there. We're going to take the box. We're going to put the box over here or down here. So let's untie this. So let's see. So Night Force is an interesting branding title for these, I must say. And some of the characters that they stuck in the Night Force, I was a little bit surprised about, because it's a weird thing. It's like they're incorporating a lot of different things within Night Force. That the Joes are fighting creepy crawlies on Cobra Island, and there's all kinds of different story elements and story through lines that are part of this. So I'm kind of happy, because we're getting a lot of fun stuff now. Hasbro Classified team is giving us some really fun stuff, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming up soon. All right, so there you go. Range Viper, and the artwork for the side of the package, and the interior back of the package. There you go. And then we have the Range Viper. All right, so right off the bat, you can tell there's some differences there. Right? This is turquoise, and this is blue. So right there, the color deco is different. They use that more subdued color palette for Classified. I'm guessing because they're changing the colors to make it more Classified up, and then maybe if they want to do a vintage, they'll do a vintage. So that's my guess, but I don't know why they're doing that. Michael Gene Fleming, do you like the turquoise or do you like the blue better? I'm curious, that's one of your favorite troop builders. I will say, though, they captured that really cool grimace of his face with those creepy eyes, and they gave him the brains still. It's quite striking on the battlefield when you see this guy coming at you from the field. Bobby World, thanks for joining us today. I ended up taking one of the Valkyries and having a custom head made so I can do a female Range Viper, the one named Evie. Yeah, I think you mentioned that before. And that's why I mentioned that we have room for more Range Vipers, because I think we've got 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 Range Vipers in the Classified line, all total so far. And there's a possibility of that one, and I think there's another one that was in the comics as well, Skullbuster. So there's a possibility of those two coming down the road as Range Vipers. So I did kind of mention that. Thank you again, Bobby World. I appreciate it. And then we have Lego Star Wars Kid. Hi, you're a first-time contributor to the chat. Thank you for joining us. You like the blue Classified. Okay, thank you. And then Michael Gene Fleming. The colors are close enough. I don't have any real preference. I do like the head bearing vest better. The load bearing vest better than the original torso, though. Okay, so that's cool. So you like, it doesn't matter on the coloring, but you like the load bearing vest. Now this load-bearing vest, we're going to get this several different times. Obviously, Snake Eyes version 4 has a very similar vest to this, and then there's several other characters in the past that also have this. It might be another Snake Eyes. One of the Timber Snake Eyes might have this vest. I'm not entirely certain. I'm not very good when it comes to trying to figure out who has what parts, but I think there's another Snake Eyes, the one with Timber, the first Timber one, that has this as well. But okay, so you like that better than the Gatling bullet ammunition belt, kind of like the Roadblock. They did like a half a not a half a rock and roll, a half a rock and roll weapons belt on the Vintage, and this one has more of the 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 ammunition, kind of like the Dynamite and all the weapons materials. Oops, there goes my Range Viper. Sorry. I lost its gun. Here, the what do you call it? Dynamite and the like C4, all that C4 and dynamite and stuff like that that's on the chest. So I understand that. So let's see. He's got a little bit of loop there on that belt, that secondary belt. He's got another secondary with a holster on his right leg, another secondary on the left leg with some more C4 and dynamite there. He's got, of course, that chest secondary that Michael Gene Fleming was saying that he liked. It kind of blocks that that chest articulation, the ab crunch there. Speaking of articulation, so let's see. We have the new head articulation, rocker articulation there. We have the double butterflied shoulders, the double pin elbows, the double pin knees. We have the crotch and waist articulation there. We have the wrist articulation, but we do not have the secondary wrist articulation. So these arms kind of look like they belong to like Outback or somebody that has like a shirt, t-shirt type articulation. Let me kind of look at this real quick and see if I can tell. Yeah, those are the Outback arms and shirt, because he got that shirt articulation. So then we have the thigh and calf articulation. We have the foot rocker articulation, and we have the secondary ankle articulation. But the only one we don't have is the secondary wrist articulation. So the color deco is pretty nice. It's a lot brighter on the Vintage, obviously. It's a lot brighter on him. He's got like that golden yellow, and he's got like silverish highlights on his boots with that armor there on his boots, and probably on some of his other parts as well. A little bit of gray in there. Whereas this one's got gray and blue and like more of a beige, khaki beige color deco scheme for the three or so colored decos that are on him. And then he's obviously got that Cobra emblem there, and he's got those red eyes. So that's basically his color scheme. There's a lot of really cool layering with the armor and the pads and everything. So he looks like he's really loaded to bear going out into the field with all that armor on and stuff like that. So he looks pretty good. Like I said, I've not been a very huge Range Viper guy, but I can tell you he does look pretty creepy. Looks really creepy. All right, so we're going to put him over there. We're going to go get his weapons crate, and we're going to open that up. So we got another Cobra Joe package there. And then we got the legal gobbledygook indicia. Put that back in there. Put that over here. Put that there. All right. Let's see what he comes with. Okay. All right. He's got a little bitty, another little bitty cardboard there. He's got the weapons ammo belt, like the Vintage. He's got that big, huge Gatling gun there. He's got another gun. He's got a pickaxe. He's got that little bit that goes with the rock and roll that sticks out with the little ammo on it. There, that little box, similar to rock and rolls. But rock and rolls was loose, so they glued that one in there. Then he has, let's see what else. He has one of those neck handkerchiefs there. And then he has a knife, a fancy looking knife. Kind of looks like a sai. And then he has a revolver, a little fancier revolver. All right, so that's everything that's in there. Put that aside. All right, let's get this backpack off of him. There. Now, there's a fairly interesting thing about the backpacks. A lot of these backpacks do not stay. We're going to see what we can do with this one and get it to stay. But it looks really, really cool, I must say. Lego Star Wars World kid. I would have liked a removable helmet like the 25th anniversary Range Viper. Yeah, there's a problem with helmets with classified because some characters come with it, like we did Scrap Iron. He came with it. Characters like Copperhead, the Range Viper, the Crimson Guards, they don't come with removable helmets, which I'm very kind of disappointed. I think we're at a point where Classified is giving helmets to certain characters, but then they're not giving to certain others. So I think that gives us the opportunity to get vintage package variations of these characters. Maybe the Range Viper, we can get a vintage package version, and it could be more like his turquoise version and gold version, and then have a removable helmet like the 4-inch. And that gives a lot of difference to that. So that's a good idea, Lego Star Wars kid. I think you hit something on that one. I would love to get another Crimson Guard. I would love to get a Fred. Maybe we could do a vintage package Fred and then have the helmet come off the Crimson Guard and have different accessories and stuff like that. Maybe have him like have a briefcase and some other stuff and some more of the Sunbow stuff like that, amoeba and things like that, like they did with the Ultimate Crimson Guard. Maybe, you know, something to get us a unhelmeted Crimson Guard, possibly. And because it's a Fred, you could do a lot of Crimson Guards that way. I think people would troop build that and get them. So I really like this backpack. It's a different backpack. I don't think we've ever seen this. There's some little gold decos, some red decos, blue decos on that. There's a lot of really cool color hits on that make it unique. So let's see. I'm going to put his little handkerchief thing on him first, because we don't want to have that left over at the end and then have to remove everything. So there, I put that on him there. So that's there. And I'm going to put his backpack on him. See how well that stays in. It's there. It's on him. But I don't know if that's going to stay on very well. Let's see. There's a little tube. There's a tube that hangs out, and I'm not sure what that tube goes into. So I'm going to have to find out where that tube goes to. So then we have his weapons bullet vest. So he does end up having that afterworld, Michael Gene Fleming. So there you go. So let's move this up a little bit, see if we can get this on him. So there, he can use his weapon, weapons belt. So there you go. You still have that weapons belt on him. All right. Lego Star Wars kid, his head in the back. His head in the back. What are you talking about, Lego Star Wars kid? What are you talking about his head in his back? In his back, I don't get it. Let's see. Oh, I see where the tube goes. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a tube. There's a spot right there in the back of the head, and it must be like a rebreather type of thing. So there you go. Thank you, Lego Star Wars kid. I got it. And you said the hose. I got it. Thank you very much. All right, so then we're going to get to some of these accessories. So we're going to put his revolver in his holster on his right leg. There. So then he has a sai. The sai must go in that little loop on the back of this secondary belt, like right there. That's the only place I can think of to put that, like that. And then let's see, he has this big gun here, and it has, like I said, it has the rock and roll little box with the ammunition. So I'm going to try to get that to go in there on the side of that through this little slot. There's a little slot there that I think that goes into. Maybe it goes like that. So we're still dealing with wibbly weapons. So these weapons are very soft, and these things don't want to stay in the way they're supposed to. Either I'm not putting it in there the right way, or it doesn't go in there. One of the two. I'm not sure, because I can't get it to go in, and this one doesn't have a spot for it. So this particular weapon, it's a very soft plastic, very mealable, and it has lots of detail. It looks really cool, looks really nice, but this little box with the ammunition does not want to go in there. There's a little doodad that's supposed to stick in there, and it doesn't stick in. So I may have to fiddle around with it down the road and see if I can get it to work. But yeah, doesn't want to go in there unless there's another spot. Do you know of another place where that's supposed to go? Lego Star Wars kid, am I missing something? Because I can't get that to go in there. It doesn't want to stay. I kind of got it to go on there like that, but I don't know if that's the permanent place for it. But there you go. All right, so we're going to put that over there because I don't think he's going to use that. I'm going to give him his familiar Gatling gun. And now this Gatling gun, I wonder if this is the Gatling. I wonder if this is the Gatling gun they could use for hardball, because we've already talked about hardball quite a bit, that all the parts are there. You could use the bazooka shirt. There's hats that people have, fatigues, and now there's his gun. There's his big Gatling gun. But I'm going to use that because it matches the vintage Range Viper gun, except the Gatling part is up there and not down there. So it's slightly different. But I'm going to use that one since that's the one he has. So I'm going to stick that one in his hand there. And there you go. So I gave him that Gatling gun, and then I'm going to put this axe. This, I think it's the barbecue axe. I'm going to put that in the other hand. there. So there you go. There's that and that. And then I'm probably not going to use this other one. I'll have to put that away. All right, let's see. Bobby World. That ammo box on that one gun is upside down. All right, so you're saying this is upside down. So you think it goes this way? Because I tried using it that way and I couldn't get it to stay. So that's why I turned it the other way. Let's see if I can get that to go in there. All right, so I changed it. I put the ammo that way. Bobby World. Is that more accurate, you think? Like that maybe? And you can see it's still sticking out. It's not in there. It's not in there solidly. And see, it's loose. So that's the problem I'm having with it. So I'll just stick it in his weapons crate. We won't utilize it. So let's see. We got most of the accessories on here. He's got those really detailed fatigues. He's got, like I said earlier, the armor, and he's got all these pouches on the belts and these details on the belt, and the color deco on the straps for the secondary. He looks really cool, I must say. If I was a big Range Viper fan, I probably would like this a lot. But he's not really one of my top figures. But the figure itself looks very good. For those that love Range Viper, it looks really, really good. And they gave him a lot of new stuff and stuff like that. All right, so we're going to put Range Viper over here. And then we're going to get into Big Ben. Put him over there. There. And we're going to put my vintage Range Viper back. And then we're going to go into the vintage Big Ben. Going to go into the vintage Big Ben figure. So he has a lot of gear with him. So here we go. Here's my vintage Big Ben from 1990. He has this weird looking pouch, which I'm not sure what this pouch is, but you can put stuff in there. This little pouch back there comes with him. I'm not sure what it is. I guess it's like a backpack, but they gave it a strap instead of a peg hook. So he looks really cool, Big Ben. He's got that. It's funny that the Range Viper and him both have those weapons belts, like rock and roll. Looks interesting. So he's one of the first international characters that joined G.I. Joe through the main line. When I originally ordered Big Ben and Range Viper from Walmart, the end of the canceling, they ended up canceling my Range Viper and then charging me an extra fee because I didn't meet a threshold for shipping Big Ben. That's weird. That's very weird, Bobby World. I don't know why they would do that. I would think they wouldn't charge you if you couldn't do the shipping. I would think they wouldn't charge you at all and just not ship it. That's odd that they would charge you extra fees and stuff like that. That's not typical of how the Walmart pre-order works. But I'll take your word for it. So then he's got this huge backpack. Look at how big that is. I'm sorry that happened to you, though, Bobby World, by the way. That stinks. So let's see. I don't know how we're going to get this on him with this belt there. So we're going to have to take this belt off, I think. I'm going to put it someplace else and so I can put his backpack on there because he's got this huge backpack. Um, maybe it's like something for his waist, like that. Maybe it's something he can carry around his waist with some accessories, but it's so loose. That's the thing about that pouch. It's very loose. So there, kind of got that pouch like that with the backpack. And then he has a gun, a little gun. And I don't know if this is his gun or not. I'd have to check his package. But he has this little teeny laser looking laser gun. I don't know if you guys could see that. There, little laser gun. So I'm going to put it on him. There. Yeah, and it's very loose. So I don't know if he's going to hold up. So mine has a little yellowing there. But I like the deco of it, the greens and the whites and stuff like that, and a little bit of the gray and black. So I think it looks pretty good. They did a lot with this figure with the deco on it. So like I said, he's another figure that's from a period that I wasn't like really getting everything. And I don't think I had a vintage Big Ben at the time. But I do have the classified Big Ben, and he is number 77. So there's another really nice piece of artwork. They've been really doing some really beautiful artwork on these side panels, and look how serious he looks there. And then we have the targeting artwork with the cross sell and the QR code to nowhere. And then we get the back package again with the cross sell, and it shows the British SAS logos and the International Heroes logos, tampos on him. So he's got a few weapons and a rebreather and stuff like that. So it looks like he's got some cool stuff, much more than the one that I have. But doesn't look like there's a backpack for this one. And so then we go to the front, the photography art by Shooting the Galaxy Matt from Hasbro, the Hasbro team. And you can see again, there's a little bit of purple crystal there, a little bit of purple crystal there. See, there's a dog. There's a little corgi dog. I think that's a homage to a throwback to the Deke cartoon, that little corgi dog that's in there. And there's train tracks, some cool train tracks. Then the artwork from the side, the cross sell of the accessories again. And on this one, you have the Night Force logo that denotes that this is a Night Force line subgroup through Walmart exclusively. The Night Force line is exclusively through Walmart. All right, again, opening these up for the very first time. This is our 77 figure, and we're going to get to him. Let's see. There you go, Big Ben, his package. And then his weapons crate. It says David Big Ben Bennett. That's kind of cool. I didn't know Big Ben's name is David. That's my name. 77 Stars and Stripes. So we'll put that over here for now. And then we'll put the package down below with the Range Viper package. All right, so let's open him up. Because of the fact that he's more of a Night Force deco, I'm expecting that he's going to be a little darker and a little bit more in line with Night Force. When Night Force came out in the 80s, a lot of the deco was a little wonky. The color deco, I didn't always care for what they did with the characters in Night Force in that time frame, but they've been doing a much better job with Night Force during Classified, I have to say, because I I haven't had any complaints really with the deco as I've been getting the figures. And we're going to look at Big Ben. He'll be the very first Joe Night Force that we open up. Now, Big Ben was not in Night Force in the vintage line in the 80s. To my knowledge, he did not have a vintage Night Force. So that also gives you an idea that Hasbro has been doing new characters for some of these subgroups. And Big Ben is the first one in the Night Force subgroup. I don't know if it's solidly Night Force or if it's just a night fatigues or what. As we go through this, we'll discover that. So there's the artwork. It's the artwork on the side of the package again. And so I will put that over there. And then here you go. Here's your Big Ben. So he has the rock and roll weapons bullet secondary on him. He also has a secondary like a waist piece that's supposed to go with his chest that looks like it's a jacket. So they made him look like he has like a jacket on. So he has a secondary holster on his right leg. He also has I would say that is all. His hat does not come off, but he definitely has a cool deco. I think his deco is definitely darker than the vintage one. He's got those cool vintage like British type boots on there. When I originally ordered Big Ben and Range, oh, you already said that. Sorry. But I do like this deco. It's got some grays, some blacks, much more subdued than his vintage. If you look at the vintage and you look at this, it's a lot brighter figure than this. This is definitely subdued for Night Force. He's got that tampo that I showed off on the package there, that British Intelligence, International Heroes, those two tampos there. He's got a bit of camouflage on his face there, and the vintage one also had that on him. You can see that camouflage there on him. So they've got a lot of the callbacks to the vintage. They just subdued the coloring. So I think there's definitely room for another Big Ben. Possibly there was several Big Bens in the vintage line. I must say as well. That was not our only Big Ben. There was another Big Ben after that. So he's got a little bit of deco on this belt, some metal, and he's got a little bit of blue there on this belt with the bullet harness. He's got, like I said, some different grays, a little bit of like blue gray, some greens, the white hat. He looks very much like he would be kind of a soldier too, with that face print. I must say that they've been doing a much better job with the face printing of these figures. Look at that mug that he has. Doesn't that look really grisly? Like he's like been outside in the cold a lot and he's a little miserable from being outside too much. Very, very interesting color. He's also got those paint decos on the neck. So yeah, overall, this is a really cool figure. And then the secondary that has like the jacket, you can see like on the top there, the zipper and the t-shirt. And then he's got parts of the jacket underneath there with stuff. So it's really good. They did a really good job with this figure. I'll give him a lot of credit. Right now, he's standing out as my favorite out of the two. All right, let's get into his weapons crate. We'll see what we have here. We got the G.I. Joe Cobra package again. Then we have the Legal, Gobbledygook, and Indicia. Put that back in there. Put that over here. There. And we will open this up. So let's see. Big Ben. Now, I've been getting a lot of the Action Force figures, so I'm hoping the fact that we got the Tiger Force Outback and some other British figures coming, or international, I should say international heroes figures coming in the future. I'm hoping that we get some more Action Force stuff, maybe some Red Shadows and stuff like that. So that's something that is possibly in the future for G.I. Joe Classified. It would be really nice if we did. That would really grow this classified brand. What do you guys think? You think it would be cool to get all the Action Force British stuff, international hero stuff? Look at that gun. That is huge. There is so much detail on this, and again, it's got that wibbly feeling to it. I don't particularly care for that soft. So Hasbro would go on to try to fix that consistency of the plastic. Hopefully, they succeed with that. And then we have this other, looks kind of like a shotgun type of sniper rifle type thing. Really cool looking. A little bit of detail on that. So then we have, I guess that laser gun must have came with him, because look, he comes with another laser gun, a little pistol, laser pistol there. Really interesting that he comes with that. And then we have the silencer. One of these weapons gets the silencer. And then there's a weapon cartridge for one of the rifles there. And then we have the same thing with the Saw Viper. We have a little box with some ammo box with the ammo there. So that's going to go on one of the figures, weapons. And then we get this really interesting secondary head. So we got a secondary head with a rebreather mask with that breather on the side there, because he's dealing with some weird stuff in that cave, and this Night Force theme is really getting interesting where they're going with it. So I guess they needed to give him a secondary head. So all right, let's get some of these weapons on him. I think this little laser gun. Uh-oh, I lost that. There. Oh, good. That silencer or whatever, I'm going to put it on that laser pistol. I think it looks better there. What do you guys think? You think that looks good there? I don't know if it goes there or there. Either way, I'm not sure. So there you go. And then this cartridge goes into this one. So this cartridge goes in here. There. There. And then the weapons ammo box, I think, goes on the bottom. I think there's a little bitty doodad there where that goes in. And it's supposed to look like the ammo is feeding from that little box into the weapon. So you can see the ammo there feeding into that. So those are all the weapons for him. Let's see. He's got the holster there. So I'm going to put the little laser gun there with the silencer. So yeah, that goes right in there on that. And then I'm going to give him this gun here. One of the omissions of this classified version of Big Ben is he does not come with his backpack. He does not come with that box. So there's him with his gun there. Does not come with that box, that carrying box. So all of his accessories cannot go on him for this figure, unfortunately, which is disappointing. I would have liked to have gotten all that on him. And there goes my Range Viper, because I shook this display too much. All right, so we got the Range Viper, and we have Big Ben Night Force, Walmart exclusive um, figures, both of them. So, do you guys think that all these weapons should have the ability to go on them? Um, this particular gun has this range type thing, so we could sniper somebody from the a distance, similar to the Roadblock one, um, or the Rock and Roll one. And the fact that you have extra heads and stuff like that. Do you guys prefer all the figures to have all their accessories on the body, or does it matter if they have something that's not on them, or you can put away? Because there's going to be a lot of accessories. A lot of these figures have. I got a lot of these weapons crates now that have accessories in them, but then you could mix and match accessories. I suppose the modular ability of that is really good, and now we have this secondary head. We could probably give this head to several different characters. Doesn't necessarily have to be Big Ben. So I like the fact that he got a second head. I would have liked to have gotten second heads with other characters, like Michael Gene Fleming was asking for a unhelmeted head, and that would have been kind of cool for this Range Viper. But overall, I think they look really good. I think they did a really good job with both these figures. I think the Big Ben is standing out as my favorite out of the two for the Night Force. Now, we're going to get a lot more Night Force from Walmart over the next 2 years. So this is the tail end of year 23 that these came out. This is, was introduced at MCM London. This is where they were first showed off, and the renders were showed, and the name onlys was at render was in the fall, right now. In fact, around this time for MCM London 1027 and stuff like that. So they were probably one or two of the last figures for 2023. So we're going into 2024, and there is a ton. I mean, a ton of stuff coming for 2024, and we're going to be starting with a huge character from 1983. That is going to be a deluxe figure. Michael Gene Fleming. As a normal rule, I like the figure to carry all their gear, but since Big Ben can be used as a troop builder, I don't mind it, as different figures can be equipped differently in a squad. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that makes sense, because you can give the rebreather mask to one and the regular head to another, and you can get two figures that way for Big Ben, I suppose, is what you're getting at there with all the accessories and the guns and stuff. So that makes sense if you're a troop builder for that. So you can do a couple of guys with that gear. And that's the cool thing about troop builders. And I like a lot of troop builders. Like the Crimson Guard is one of my all-time favorite troop builders. And then I really, really like the Night Viper. And we got the Night Viper render the other day, and now we have Big Lob. That render came out yesterday, and that is the last of the 5-figure waves. They are changing the figures schemes to 5-figure waves now, where they were doing 3, then they went to 4 for a while. Now they're doing 5. So they've showed all 5 of those renders off that we possibly may get pre-orders for during New York Comic Con, or after, maybe the Tuesday after. We're doing this video on a Wednesday, so we'll be getting it in about a week's time possibly, so we can order all those. Where was I going with this? So the Night Force theme, they really do a lot of interesting stuff with characters, designs, and decos and stuff like that. And I like the fact that they're incorporating some different creepy crawly cobras involved with that as well. And so there's a lot of neat Night Force themed stuff coming that I must say is worth it. I think they've done a really good job with this theme. You know, I may not have cared too much for the Python and the Tiger Force themes through Target, but they did all right with them. You know, they did the best they could with them and stuff like that. They upgraded characters like Night Force Big Ben there was never a Night Force Big Ben. So there's a lot of characters similar to that are not Night Force originally that they're going to be coming out with, and some are actual vintage versions as well of characters that will be coming as well. So they're kind of mixing and matching it and giving you a squad that's a very cool looking squad all together when you get them all for this night attack theme, I guess you could call it. And this story, deeper story, this Night Force story, that's what we're going to go with right now. I'm not going to give too much details away on that theme and that story because I want to talk more about it when we get into some other characters that are on the way very shortly. So our next, like I was saying, our next figure is going to be an 83 character. It's a deluxe, and it is an awesome character, and I look forward to doing that with you guys. So I think that pretty much covers it. So we're going to be doing a bunch of videos coming up, special videos. There's going to be a Super 7 video coming up. There's going to probably be a reveal video of some new classified stuff coming up. There will be a New York Comic Con panel video and what's going on there. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification so you guys can get all those videos. And we'll be doing classified reviews almost every day as well. So some of those days there may be 2 videos. So like today, there'll probably be another video, a Super 7 video later this afternoon. If you guys want to see some cool stuff coming from Super 7, Reaction Plus. We'll be talking about that. What else? So I want to say thank you everybody in the chat for contributing, getting involved. I love that. Keep it up. This is for you guys as much of it as it is for myself. And then everybody watching after the fact, thank you again, and I appreciate it. And you guys have done a really good job asking questions and getting involved after the fact. So we are up to 77. So our next video is going to be 78, and then we have a huge video for 79 coming, and then we will be up to 75 after that. And we're going to have a new vintage package figure coming, and that's going to be an interesting one. So give you guys a couple of hints as to what's coming up. So if we can get up to that 150 mark, we will do a special video. We're going to try to open up another Street Fighter, another classified. We're going to do a top 10, depending upon where we get first. If we get to the 200 video or the 150 subs video, Cobra or G.I. Joe top 10, and then something special. If you guys would like me to open something from my collection, I can open or take something out of my collection and review it, because I have a ton of really cool stuff that we could talk about and get into deep into and look at the history of. We may not get like a vehicle or something like that. I can go into Dan Klingensmith's history, and we can go into the history of that item or whatever, if you guys want to. And so there you go. And that will be coming in the future as well. So we got a lot of really cool stuff coming in the future in this next week. So thanks everybody again. And this was a Joe and a Cobra. So we're going to say Night Force rules. How about that? That covers both, right? Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one.